Good afternoon, everyone. It is 4:37, 60 degrees, but it is cold for me. It is cold. Let me put this down. I had recorded earlier when I got out of church. I was so excited. I went to the first 9 o'clock service of the year because my friend and I don't know if I recorded that part or not, but we were contemplating in whether to go to the very first service, because now we were going to the 10 o'clock service, but now there's no 10 o'clock anymore. Now it's 9, 10:30, and 12. And then I think at 1 is the Spanish service. But we were contemplating, okay, should we come to the 9, And she convinced me because she was like, something different. Maybe that's what you need. And I said, you know what? Even if I go to a different church that I wanted to try out, because I was just getting too overwhelmed at this church that I am right now, my family church, my home church. I was getting too overwhelmed by the members and how disrespectful they've become. And it was really, really crowded, like miserably crowded. And I just wasn't having it anymore. And I had told her a couple of weeks back, I said, you know what? I think I'm going to try a different church. The only thing is it's at 9 o'clock. I don't know if I can make it at 9 o'clock. But, I can't take it here anymore. I enjoy the services. I enjoy all the pastors. What I don't enjoy is some of the members, and how they expect people to move in so they can have the good seats. And I was complaining about that in a video, but I don't think I uploaded it. I was like, yeah, that's not right, because it's like if you're on an airplane and you get there. I know it's kind of different in an airplane because you pay for your seat, but say you paid for your window seat and here comes this other passenger. I was like, oh, excuse me, do you think I can have the window seat for my child? Because they really wanted the window seat, even though they didn't pay for it. And you're like, no. And then they think you're rude about it. Well, it's kind of like the same concept at church. You get there early, you get a good seat. That's why you get there early. And then they tell you, if everybody could just scoot in and make room for the late peoples. And it's like, no, the late people are going to have to just go through the row and sit in the middle. Why should we sit in the middle? A couple of weeks ago, I was in the middle like a sardine when I got there early. And I was like, I don't like this, I don't like having to rush to get here on time, waking up super early, and then being asked to move to the middle so they can get the end seat and they can enjoy the service a lot more comfortable with their Starbucks coffee, because they stopped at Starbucks to get their drinks. I'm like, that's not right. Something's not right here, So she's like, let's try the 9 o'clock service. Let's just see. Let's try it at least once, and then take it from there, right? And I was like, okay. You all, I loved it. I loved it. There was a lot of people, but not as congested as a 10 o'clock service. And I was actually able to see the stage. I was able to see Pastor. I was like, whoa, so that's what Pastor looks like now in person, I was able to see Pastor. I was also able to see him on screen. I didn't have to look above anybody or to the side because somebody's sitting in front of me, and it's usually somebody way larger than I am that sits in front of me. It was just so refreshing. And I said, well, if it keeps being like this, I may just start coming at 9. I told her next week. She's like, well, are you going to come at 9 next week? And I said, hopefully, yes. I thought it was going to be a little bit off for me. I don't think praise and worship is going to be as good, I went really optimistic. Surprise, surprise, right? For me. I went in really optimistic, and I was like, what if it's just not up to par? What if I start falling asleep during service because it's so early for me? I was making such a big deal about it in my head. But let me tell you, right before I started to get ready to to leave the house at 8:30 instead of 9:30, I was like, snap out of it, Moon. You're only getting up 30 minutes earlier. Before you would wake up at 7, now you're getting up at 6:30. It's no big deal. Like, stop making it a big deal. And I was like, right, it isn't. So I was able to start moving myself around and everything. My friend and I got there almost at the same time. I got there, and then I was about to get my phone out to text her, like, I'll save you a seat or whatever, But then she walks in, and we were just happy to see each other. By the way, I think it was after Christmas. Yeah, after Christmas. Last week, in fact, last Sunday, she gave me a little gift, and it was something that I really needed. And I was like, wow, like, I really needed this. Like, I don't know what to say. Thank you. And I really appreciate it. And she was so happy that, it blessed me and all. And I said, I'm so sorry. I said, I didn't get anything for you. Like, and honestly, funds were short. We had to pay our bills, and then we only had so much money for the kiddos and our children, so we're like, I didn't even think about outside friends, it was just strictly family, right? And she's like, don't worry about it, I didn't get you something, so you can give me something back, And what I should have said was, why? You're giving me a gift? Why? No, I'm just kidding. That's a joke, by the way, because I gave her something a while back, and that's how she reacted with me. But it was a devotional. It was a little pocketbook devotional, and I could carry it in my purse if I wanted to, I'll get to that in a second. But I could carry it in my purse if I wanted to, and I was like, this is perfect. Like, thank you so much, And I love it, you all. I love it so much. And I even told her, I said, I have been looking at one at Hobby Lobby, but it was like, okay, either I get that or I get this, because I try to budget myself, And so I said, you don't know how much this means to me. I really appreciate it. So when I said purse, and I said if I wanted to, the only reason I said that is because if you all probably won't even know this, and some of you won't even remember about this, maybe one person, I had ordered my first Kate Spade purse, and it was in payments. Okay, I'm not ashamed of it. I'll admit it. It was through Klarna, and if that's how you say it, Klarna, whatever. And it was when we first moved into this apartment, which was a year ago. I ordered my first Kate Spade purse. I hadn't seen that it was open though. Like I was so excited when I got it. I really loved it. It was black, very classy, very classic look. But on the top, it only had one button to close it, and you could see everything inside. And I was like, oh man, I didn't even look at that. And so I thought, well, you know what? I could still use it, to go to church or something. So then I decided I need the matching wallet. So I paid off the purse, after a month or two. I don't remember how many payments it was. Then I ordered the wallet. That was my first time ever ordering through Klarna. And I put the new address where I live right now. But when I got the wallet, somehow that wallet ended up going to my old apartment address. And I called them immediately, and I told them right that same day that the order was placed, I saw the old address, and I was like, why is my old address popping up? And I said, oh no, is it going to go over there rather than here? Why? How did that address even come up again, So I called them, and I let them know, hey, I just placed an order. You all have not sent it out yet. It was just placed like right now, today. but the address is my old address. Can you all change that? And they're like, oh no, I'm sorry, we can't. What? What do you mean you can't? They're like, no, you would have to change it yourself. And if it was already placed, the order, and there's nothing we could do. So even if I change it myself online, there is nothing you can do. They're like, no, it's already going to be processed and everything, so no. And I said, what do you mean? And then I said, furthermore, on my app for Klarna, it's got the correct address. So this beef that I had was with Kate Spade, mind you, not Klarna, with Kate Spade. Well, of course, Kate Spade, the 1-800 number that I called, they blamed Klarna. I called Klarna, and it was a process to get through to Klarna, by the way. And they're like, no, ma'am, we have your right address. And they read it out to me, and I was like, what in the world? You know, so I had to call Kate Spade again and again. No, we cannot change it. So they're like, what we can do is send you another one. If you happen to get a hold of the first wallet, you do have to return it. And I was like, what? But am I going to be charged twice? And they're like, well, only if you get both wallets. And I said, but I'm not going to get the other wallet. It's at my old address. So I said, fine, just send me another one to this address. Well, I went to the old address because I saw that it was delivered. Excuse me. And I got my wallet. And that's where the ex-landlady shows up. She had already left, mind you. Her car wasn't there, so I thought, great, I'll just go get my wallet and leave, right? Well, this ex-neighbor that was there, a very nosy Karen. I mean, she is top-notch, the Karen, you know? Like, there's no other Karen like her. Well, maybe, but if Karen had a name, it would be her, you know? This lady was just so disgusting and so vile. And she felt that she could park wherever she wanted. And she would park on my parking spot that was assigned to my apartment. But she would do it anyway. And then she was offended when I left a note, which was instructions by the landlady, Alma, to leave her a note and let her know that she can't park there. She needs to park in her own spot. So she got really offended when I did that. So after that, she had it out for me. Like anything I would do, she would follow me. She would like always just stare at me. And I was just like, oh my God, this lady's crazy. But she would only do that if she was home. I was always home. She wasn't always home. So, but whenever she was home, that's what she would do. Anyhow, moving on. So I think what she did was call Alma, who just left the apartment, and Alma came right back and blocked me in and wouldn't let me leave. And then she was threatening to press charges on me. And I said, for picking up my own mail? She's like, well, you don't live here anymore. Well, it was delivered here, and this is a very expensive wallet, and that's all I needed. Well, how do I know you didn't get the other tenant's mail? I said, because I have it right here. This is all me. This is me. That's it. It's my name, this address, that apartment number. That's it. I don't have any other mail here on my seat, you know? So she made a big old stink about it. Really pissed me off. I wasn't worried that, oh shit, I'm going to go to jail now because I picked up my mail and I don't even live there, right? And I ended up getting the other wallet to the right address, the second wallet. So I called the company and I told them, I got the wallet. I'm going to send you the first one. And they're like, okay, thank you very much, and blah, 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 blah. But you know what? After that, I was so disgusted with the purse and wallet, I didn't even want it anymore. So I gave it to my son's girlfriend for Christmas, this past Christmas. And I told her the story, and I said, I don't even want this anymore. They've made my experience so bad that I don't even want it anymore. So to end this video, I'm going to end it on a good note. One of the neighbors, that was my neighbor. Here comes, okay. I'm trying to hurry up because my son's coming. She texted me the other day, to let me know that Alma is no longer employed at the villas, and that she didn't have any further information. Like, she didn't know if she got fired or she quit. Whatever the deal was, she's no longer there. And my response was just like, wow. I just said, what? Question mark, exclamation. And I said, wow. Honestly, I don't care. I'm glad that she's not there anymore, so that no other tenants have to experience what I experienced, because that was only one little piece of information, a little incident, that happened, okay, with this Alma. I'll have to tell you the whole story one day, but that's just one little piece. So in my mind, rather than giving this person the response they were looking for, in my mind, I was just like, good riddance. Good riddance. Am I happy about it? Am I sad? I think I'm more happy than the sad side. Would I go back to live there? No. Even if she's not there, I am very happy where we're at. It's really peaceful. I have a peace of mind. There's nobody above me. I'm not above anyone. It's just one story. It is great. I don't want to ever go back there again. And I did tell her, the neighbor from the villas, that they did catch William, the man that I posted on my community post, that he was wanted. He was wanted for sexual assault on a minor. Oops, I meant to say assault of a minor, not the other word. Hopefully this doesn't get reported or something, but I'm happy for the victim that he got caught, because he was on the run. I'm very sad for his wife. The ex-neighbor did tell me that she was moving out. She was carrying these boxes out on her own to the car. She didn't have any help whatsoever. And I was like, oh man, why the neighbor didn't help her, I don't know. If I was there, I would have helped her. I think it's baloney. I think it's not very Christian-like if you see somebody going through something and you don't try to help. But this is the kind of neighbor that this person is, and that's why I don't feed into her gossip. I've noticed that she likes to gossip a lot. She likes to search for words from me, and I'm not going to give it to her. Turns out I have a few more minutes. So let me catch you all up on last week. What I had recorded this morning was like some of the stuff that I went through last week. It wasn't fun at all. It was one thing after another. We have to deal with something that's affecting our finances. I'm just going to say that. And on that same day, finding this out, on that same day, our computer just broke down. And I was like, you're kidding. All in one day? Like, I was having a bad week already as it is, and then to wake up and have that happen, it was like, wow. That's probably why my stomach still hurts, because I was stressing out. I crashed out. I really did. I crashed out. And in my video earlier, I was saying how we got another computer, and I was thanking God that we you know, that we were able to do that, that he provided for us to be able to replace that other computer. And then when I got home after recording, I realized that the freezer that we have, it was clicking all night and all mid-morning. It started to defrost everything. The freezer is now broken. And I said, this can't be. Why is everything happening right now? But you know, Holy Spirit spoke to me, because it would be so easy to think, oh, I'm under attack. You know, somebody's wishing bad upon me, which they could probably be doing. But I say a prayer about that every night before I go to bed to be protected. Maybe I need to say it early in the morning too now. But, you know, this freezer, we've had it since 2021. I looked up the receipt. I keep everything in a little baggie in our desk, because the husband was spazzing out. He's like, oh, that's too much already. What's going on over there? What are you doing to the stuff? Like, why is everything breaking down? And I said, whoa, whoa, whoa. I remember it happened in 2020 when my ankle broke. But no, I was wrong. I was not that off. It was in 2021. But I just remember going to Lowe's, and I was still wearing the boot. And both my sons came with me to help me out with it. And it was able to fit in my other car. I'm pretty sure it would fit in this one, but I don't want to try it. But I said, look, that computer, you've had it since before you met me, and we've been together for 13 years. It was bound to happen. We had already had it fixed a couple of years back through this computer guy that lived right across. Same street, but in the business area street. Not across from the apartment, but it was like the apartments, the movie theater, a street, and then he worked across there. And very good man, very friendly, very reasonably priced. He fixed our computer that time, the first time it crashed out. Now he did it again. It was time. You know, it was just time to replace it. And that computer is a Dell, and it was an Experian, and it was purchased, I believe, back in 2010. So yeah, we're in 2026. It was bound to happen. It just happened at the wrong time, you know. And anyhow, so I told him the freezer, we purchased it on 2021. This brand is not the best brand. It's a Hot Point. Sorry, Hot Point, but you're not the best brand. You're the second freezer that breaks down on us after so many years. So yeah, if we have to keep replacing you every 4 to 5 years, you're not worth my money then. I had purchased the extended warranty to it for only 3 years. So there's that. And I found another one at Home Depot, and it's a different brand. But this time I am not going to get the extended warranty, because obviously these things break down after the fact. So why bother? To be fair though, I will say that at our old apartment, we always had power outages. And whenever that happened, that blew a lot of the appliances. That blew our pump for the Sleep Number, the computer, and now the freezer. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I mean, I'm very sure that's what happened, but you know, alleged, let's say allegedly. But you know, hopefully that'll be it for now, because every year we start out with a bang, and it's always something, you know. So hopefully that's it. And hopefully you all, I know a lot of people had a bad week last week, so hopefully it gets better for you all as well, those of you that have bad weeks. If not, send prayer this way. So thank you all for listening. I love you all, and I will talk to you all again soon. Bye.